Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Global Apparel Sourcing Expo. Welcome to the conference of the Expo. My name is Matthijs Grité. I'm Secretary General of the International Apparel Federation. This is the global body uniting apparel industry associations from all over the world, from all continents, with a mission to unite the global apparel industry, to promote and to strengthen supply chains across the world, making them stronger, smarter, and more sustainable. For the expo that we have organized, we also have a conference component, which we have split in three main topics. The first week of the expo, we are talking about sustainability. The second week of the expo, digitization, and the third week of the expo, about the sourcing trends in the world. I now have the honor and the privilege to be talking to Mostafiz Uddin. He is the CEO of Bangladesh company Denim Export. He's also the CEO of the Bangladesh Apparel Exchange. He's a well-known and fierce fighter for the Bangladesh, the well-being of the Bangladesh apparel industry. He's a commentator. He's a prolific writer of articles for both Bangladeshi and international media. And he has a strong vision on the supply chain of our industry. So welcome to this conference, Mostafiz, and I'd like to thank you very much for joining us. And I have some questions for you, and I'm eager to hear what you think of these topics. My first question.
Thanks,
yes.
Thank you so much.
Great. It's good to have you. I would like to ask you, it's clear that the garment industry in Bangladesh has been hit particularly hard across, if you compared with other countries in the world, by COVID-19. Stores are reopening, fortunately, in Europe and in the US. Do you see demand picking up in any way? And if you do you see that this demand differs from what it was before the crisis started?
Thanks for asking the question. Actually, this is a very interesting question because one hand we are saying to the international media that orders are being cancelled in Bangladesh, and sometimes my friends saying that whenever I see you in the social media, your factory is full of production, full of orders. I would like to say all my friends through you, it's full of orders because 3 months we had not able to produce. If you go behind from March 25th, our government had announced a shutdown, and from there, April, May, we didn't able to produce the garments. So we have, that's why, a lot of production. And if you ask the questions about future orders and how we are getting the orders, I think we are not getting enough future orders. And I think my forecasting is in the coming days in Bangladesh, we will be having minimum 40% less production from the previous season, and and this is our reality at the moment.
Yeah, thank you. I think that clarifies something very important, right? That even though orders are fortunately coming back, this will not solve the situation that has already been created by the gap in orders and the lack of liquidity that has been created. It's not a compensation for this, if I understand you correctly.
Yes, Matthias, actually it's like that. If you don't allow me to eat 7 days, and after 7 days you bring me a lot of food and you ask me, eat whatever you want, Mostafiz, I can't eat because 7 days, all my organs gone, my heart, my eyes is gone. So the situation had been created due to all these buyers, non-payment, discount, delay shipment. Our cash flow already broken, our nerves had been broken, and my personal feeling is I've been killed, like by somebody is catching my throat and just killing me day by day. So the effect is like that. Even we have from now enough order, and even we get a lot of order from now to coming 6 months also, but the damage already made because of this situation, I think the manufacturer needs year after year to recover this situation. We have a very, very upcoming tough days because of this situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. It's good that you clarify that. Thank you. Another question is more looking at the structural situation, and it is clear to everybody that this crisis is putting a magnifying glass on some of the structural problems that were already there in the system. So, in your view, being in this situation, what do you see as the biggest structural problem that our apparel industry is facing?
First of all, I will tell that the apparel industry between the buyers and the manufacturer completely failed to prove that they can solve the problem. And my request will be to the international body, civil society, all the human, that it's time to they interfere to solve the problem. We've been seeing so many years we are talking about purchasing practices, all these problem, and there is nothing new. But we have to accept at this moment that the manufacturer and the buyer failed to solve the problem by themselves. To mention some of the problem is payment terms, the way we do business, contacts. But Matthias, my question is, I think even you and me also, we discuss so many times that we know all this problem. We all are well aware of all this problem, but it's not happening. I think in COVID-19, from now, it should happen. And then my request will be either European Union or any government or any legal body should step forward and say to these both manufacturers and the buyer that stop, it's enough. You fail to protect the workers. You have no right to continue business like this, because ultimately victim of COVID-19 is the workers. They are the one who have the most affected people.
Yeah. So what you are saying is that you're saying that the industry, has trouble fixing the systemic
Yes.
problems
Yes.
themselves. So we
Themselves,
need.
and no more chance. They should not get any more chance by saying we will solve it. I think the civil society had given enough time to the industry, but the industry failed to solve the problem by themselves. No more chance.
Just a question: who do you see as the biggest factor from outside of the industry solving this? Do you think governments can play an important role enacting rules and regulations also in US and EU?
That's the only way to solve it. I think there is no other way left. EU and US, all this government and then policymakers should come and formulate a law and save this industry and these peoples. And there is no other way. For me, I don't see there is any other things to think at this moment. It's already proved.
Okay, well that's very clear. And well, we will certainly continue our discussion about that. There are of course some laws in consideration, one of which is the mandatory due diligence in the EU, and that has its advantages and disadvantages. But that is something very concrete which is being discussed right now in Brussels. So we should talk about what that can do. But that's for another conversation, Mostafiz. I'm also curious to know, if we look at you have large factories, so you have dealt with different kinds of clients. Maybe there are some clues to what is a better business model. If you look at what clients have done better than others, is there a specific type of business where you think they have been less affected by this crisis, or is it all across the board?
No, first of all, my learning, I want to share with you my learning. I am handling around 10 to 11 retailers from US and Europe. And I was always proud to working for so-called sustainable brand and so-called responsible brand. So one of my sustainable responsible brand was Top Man Top Shop Arcadia Group. Barton. I was producing for them. I was also producing for Jones of New York, Sanjay, all these biggest brand of USA. And my USA brands are selling these jeans in $80 to $100, and my European brand is selling the jeans in €50 plus. Uh, and also I have clients like Taco Fashion in Germany, who are selling these jeans in €19 to €29. So if you look into this COVID time, these clients who used to sell jeans in €19 or €29, they are more responsible to me. They are more paying on time. They come and send in an email, Mustafiz, how can we help you? And look onto these people who are buying on the same price. I will say less price than Taco Germany, and selling the jeans in €80, €100. They didn't pay my money. I had shipped the goods in February, and still now the goods had not paid. But clients like Taco in Germany had shown their responsibility. So I will request through you, I will share that consumers should understand price is not only the way to judge a brands and retailer that who is more sustainable or who is more responsible. It was also one of my thinking earlier that I will only work for the client who are really more sustainable, who are selling, high end, matter of pride. But I realize in this COVID situation that price is not the way to judge a client. My clients like Taco Fashion in Germany, they had put a lot of responsibility, showed me a lot of partnership approach, and other than those clients had not even replied my email.
Wow. Yeah, that's very interesting. I think some people understand that price is not the issue. Unfortunately, it has the effect which this has had is that people in European markets, from my point of view, sometimes are really confused because they don't know anymore who to trust, right? So they see all these brands, so they think, okay, so this is a high value brand, and a lot of people realize that doesn't mean automatically that the purchasing practices are any better than any of the other companies. We know it has more to do with professionalism, the way the company has a good system that is able to generate money without too much waste, either waste in terms of resources or waste in terms of having to sell at rock bottom prices because you made the wrong stuff that nobody wants. But this is very, very difficult to explain to consumers. So I think there is a lot of work to do to make consumers aware through maybe technology or legislation or any type of label to give transparency what company is doing the right thing and what company is not doing the right thing. But thank you for that for that remark. That is very valuable. I have one more question, Mostafiz. We always have to end a conversation looking at the future and at your own company as well, because you do a lot for the industry, but you have a company of your own to run as well. What do you see for your own company, Denim Expert, as the best way forward after this crisis?
Yes, first of all is I had rewrite the definition of partnership in my company. So-called partners are not partners. It had been proved. So I started to rewriting my definition for partnership. This is the first thing I am doing in my company every single day. And second thing is I am rewriting my growth plan, my future strategy, because I think we may expecting that COVID-19 is for a short time and then business will be as usual in coming days. No, it will be not as usual in coming days. I think business will be like this even the COVID is over also, and we don't know when the situation will be normal. So by taking this in consideration, I started to restructure my business, and I'm trying to how can I adjust this growth plan, and how can I maintain my business in this way. Another thing is I'm trying to do is reducing the cost as much as possible to make it as low as it is, so we can survive. And third important thing I'm doing is the digitalization. I think digitalization is the only way to survive. How can we reduce digitalization on not only reducing the cost and also reducing the times? And I think COVID-19 already proved that digitalization is the only way to move forward. So this is the three things I'm emphasizing at this moment for my future sustain of my business.
Great. Yeah, that's good to hear. I like the digitization as well because it does multiple things, right? It as you said, it reduces cost, reduces the time. But we always say the speed doesn't mean anything, has no value without the right system. So the speed has to lead to the ability to have the right product at the right time, at the right customer. And if so, that's the system that needs to be behind it. And if you have that combination of cost reduction and speed leading to the right product, to the right customer, then you can reduce the waste of producing stuff that in the end no customer actually really wants, which then you have to mark down. And all those markdown costs, as we know, are probably the biggest cost in the industry. And the only way to deal with those costs is to squeeze on everything else, including the workers. So yeah, I really believe in digitization if it's done in the right way, if it leads to the right product at the right time. And actually, maybe we should just become a more normal industry, right? More like the car industry or the furniture industry. And then we'll be all right, and your company will be all right, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Sure. So I'd like to thank you very much, Mostafiz, for inspiring words. I'm sure the listeners will have learned a lot. And unfortunately, we have to stop. We will continue our conversation offline, so to speak. But thank you very much for your contribution to our expo.
Thank you, Matthias, and thank you to the entire team of ForSource and AIF. And I think you guys are doing a great job. And in this COVID moment, the leadership of AIF is really remarkable, and I'm very proud to say I am a proud member of AIF. Thank you.
Yes, we're glad to have you as a member. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.